Yeah, we just kind of ransacked Dickson Street tonight. Well, I don't know, in as much as Dickson Street is remotely ransackable. But, yeah, Dickson Street, bricks and dicks, what can you say? We're all just doing the happy dance because there are now bricks on Dickson Street. It changes our life so much. Wow, you know, my car won't run. You know, my life is over. My life is a shambles. But it's all right because Dickson Street's got bricks in it, and they're, you know, doing color supplements in the Times and all this nice shit to compliment, you know, just laud the fact that Dickson Street's so wonderful now because it has bricks, and they've taken X number of years to run all the cool businesses off the street and, you know, charge out the yin yang for everything, and, you know, just try to run out all the riffraff and give us a higher clientele of people. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. You walk down Dickson Street and you can just feel the love, you know, just sorority girls just kind of shrinking away in terror, and I don't know, what can you say? It's a brave new world. It's a grave new world. Too much love. That's all I can say. I don't know. The would-be saviors of downtown Fayetteville should be proud of exactly how much havoc they've created and just how sterilized they've made everything. And it's real. I think there's what you would call the culture vultures and whatnot. And I just think, well, let's make downtown Fayetteville more cultural and more salable to, I don't know, the higher clientele. I guess we got the young executives, as we've been calling them. You know, God damn it, it's about hawking real estate. The thing about gentrification, and I've written about this a lot lately, and I'll just go off, is gentrification almost acts as kind of like cultural whiteout, and it just, the great eraser. These folks usually tend to pay lip service to diversity. Diversity to these people is the one black guy that they allow into the croquet match. You know, the couple in the trailer park playing their Leonard Skinner, that ain't diversity. You know, the Mexican guy gutting chickens at the Tyson plant, that ain't diversity. You know, we're sure as hell not diversity. And, you know, when these folks see true diversity, they run screaming. Diversity is what they've been trying to kill. Like I've said, cultural whiteout. I don't know if there's a lot else to say, at least as far as I'm concerned. The camera is floating. The swimming camera.
Talking about Dickson Street, I can't even tell you why I go down to Dickson Street anymore. I mean, I go down there and like the booze is expensive, like, you know, you have, you know, it's funny to frighten the straight if basically there's at least one other person who's a freak, but it's not even like that anymore on Dickson Street. It just, I can't even describe to you how frustrated I am with Dickson Street. I mean, to convey my anger, I mean, I could talk about gut-shooting frat boys. That tends to like piss people off, and that like puts you in the state of mind that I'm in right now. It used to be a cool kind of freaky place, you know, and had some really nice places on it, like the CD Lounge, and there's a little coffee shop down there that I don't want to like use its name, but it used to be a lot cooler, and now it's like infested with like yuppie pest and whatever. It's like, I mean, the yuppies are like this pestilence. They just come there and they travel in packs. They're just like, you know, this awful fucking thing, you know. It's like Dickson Street is all like bricks and dicks now, man. I mean, it's all that's down there. And, you know, it's just walking down the street. I was talking to this like fairly yuppie guy, and it's like, even the yuppies are bitching about the drink prices down there, right? It's just, said it used to be a cool place. It used to be a fairly cool place. You had widespread bagel down there, and you had the ROTC. I mean, hell, they couldn't keep the ROTC around, could they? I mean, that was actually a cool place for like anyone to go, but they don't just want anyone down there, you know, unless you're a young executive and, you know, or have aspirations to be a young executive. There's plenty of places that they could have fucked up. I mean, they could have gone to Bentonville and turned it into like a big strip mall down there. In fact, they have. And I mean, it has no culture, it has no character, but, you know, I mean, that's essentially what they want to do to Dickson Street. Yuppies, city planners, if you are listening to me, hear me and hear me well. There are completely fucked up strip mall areas you can go to and turn them into like whitewashed, homogenized strip malls and sports bars. I mean, there's perfect places for that. There's places that would just like lend itself well. Why go to like the part of town where the interesting people hang out and then fuck it up? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, look at Soho. Soho used to be a great place. The artists, the poets, you know, the Lower East Side, the Village in New York, were all great places. And then the yuppies came down there, spent all their goddamn money, and now it's like you can't even get a place down there, you know? It's like you pay $5 for a cup of coffee. And every place I've ever gone, 2nd Avenue in Nashville, you know, Haight-Ashbury has like McDonald's on it now. They have like The Gap. I mean, you know, it's this sort of thing is like a cultural case of the herpes, man, you know? It's like, you just can't avoid it. You have fun, and then the next thing you know, you have yuppies coming down and like real estate people wanting to gentrify it, run all the freaks out. Everything that was beautiful about the place, the people were interested in the first place, is gone. It's just fucking gone. I mean, it's the same sort of thing. You know what? I mean, it's like wherever we go, you're like, you know, the dog that eats some other dog's shit. I mean, we go take a shit, you follow it, and you eat the shit. If we went to South Fayetteville and opened up like clubs down there and like a used bookstore and a cool rock and roll venue, hell, you know, you'd actually have people going down there, and goddamn, the next thing you know, you'd have like some fucking yuppie prospector going down there and wanting to open up a Starbucks and some sort of sports bar. I mean, people, leave our shit alone. I mean, just, you know, go build something in Bentonville. For God's sake, go build something in Gentry or Centerton. My God, they need something out there, you know. I mean, there's a whole town. You can build sports bars, you can put bricks on the street. It would be great. It's closer to the airport, you know. You can get, like, the young executives, like the yuppies can get loaded as soon as they get off the plane, man. They can stay there. The hillbillies will love you all. They'll think that, like, you know, you're God sent because you're bringing, like, something to their fucking economy, you know. And I mean, their only like preoccupations and like forms of culture right now are horse fucking. So, you know, I mean, basically, you guys would be like welcome, but you know, that is the perspective of a person who went to Dickson Street and came here from New York City in '97 and Nashville in like '94 and had been through here and lived in some urban areas and thought this was a beautiful town where it was full of people that had cultural interest and it was relatively small. And that was like not so long ago, but it's just that now it's not that anymore. It's just this yuppie hell. So anyways, that's it. And go gut shoot a frat boy. I know that'll piss you off. And like molest a cow and like, you know, go buy some like clothes from like, you know, some sort of enslaved children over in like whatever country with like missing fingers because you want to pay like, I don't know, like $50 for Nikes instead of like 65. I mean, I don't know why I'm telling you this. You'll just do it anyway. So, anyways.
Go to Walmart and poop on towels.
Poop on towels. Right, soft. Go like eat some sort of abused chicken. And have a nice day. And now that I'm finished, it's time for you to suck my dick. So just make a face like a donut, because here it comes. Yeah.
The blurry. Go.
Man, what have they done to my Dickson Street? That's what I want to know. When I was growing up, we had bricks on the street. Well, dug up the bricks and paved it. Now what have they done? They've dug that up and put bricks. Why do we even do this? What? This doesn't even make sense. And then what do? They want to put street lamps in. So they go and they dig up part of the brick and put in street lamps. Where was the forethought in this? Bricks and dicks. You know, walking in and just like this great coffee place. It first opened, it was like so many people would go there, the freaks, the artists. You go in, hang out, nobody gave you a bunch of slack. Now, it's full of fucking sorority girls. You know, these little blonde things. Oh my God, you know, have you seen that guy? He's like wearing a bandana. Oh God, you know.
Maybe he's with a gang.
You know, it's just, you know, they just don't get it, I guess. Come in all dressed up to the nines. I'm like, this is Fayetteville. This is not Broadway. This is not San Francisco. This is Fayetteville, freaking Arkansas. You know, what is there? What is there to get all dressed up about? And go to a coffee house, sit, drink their little, like, I don't know, fruity drinks and get in my way, basically. You know, never seen anybody, you know, with a disability, and so they want to just stand there. And you say, excuse me. What? What do you want? Why are you, don't get near me. I'm like, just move, okay. I'm trying to get through. You remember back whenever we had a colorful Dickson Street. Prostitutes on the corner. Do you know how much I miss prostitutes? Probably the friendliest damn people you've ever met. Always want to know if you want a good time. Sure, I don't want any prostitutes, but they were a hell of a lot of fun to talk to. And passages. You want to get me head up? Passages. They freaking moved my passages. And why? Why? Because it's a metaphysical shop. Ooh, scary. Metaphysical. What? You know, like every other Bible-beating, you know, Christian out there has their Bible bookshop, but I can't have my passages. I have to go over to what? College now? It's not even the same. Same people aren't there. You know, I miss that place so much. You go in, hang out, talk to them. They fucking moved it. Man, Rotsy. Go in, sit down, have a plate of French fries. Wouldn't bother you. Wouldn't bother you for a world. Sit there for 4 hours. Nothing but a plate of French fries. Yakking with your friends. Move that out too. It's the gerification of Dickson Street. Gerification, because it's made for old people. Old people and frat boys. And their little sorority girlfriends. God, I miss Dickson Street. God, I miss Dickson Street.
Occurred recently over Jet's show, the Billy Nabob Bubba show, and a lot of the nonsense instigated by,
It's not a kid's show.
yeah,
Duh. So anyways, yeah, we have like our newspapers here. What do you want to like,
well, we've got the
what do you want to
same
answer? That's right. This is, oh, yeah, and we stole these too. So like, it's not like we paid for this shit. And now we're going to like wipe our ass with it, so.
Speak for yourself, John Alden.
Yeah.
I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That's my excuse, and I'm
Right, we're not. Oh, here we go. Do you want to start with this thing, or do you want to start with?
Oh, no, I want to save that for dessert. I mean, well, okay. I mean, we
well,
got
no,
the-
just roll, man, just roll.
All right, complaints received by a Fayetteville police dispenser, blah, blah, blah.
Let's just read the thing, like, tear it apart piece by piece. Let me read it, and then you can, like, jump on it, then I'll, like, beat it down. And
There's only one thing I really want to.
Okay, cool.
All right, but, oh, well, okay, let's
Complaints received by Fayetteville Police Dispatcher have prompted an investigation into whether a program aired on community access television was legally obscene. The city's chief administrative officer said on Monday, "All I am acting on is the fact that several calls were received by dispatchers complaining about the program," said Hugh Ernest. Ernest says he plans to talk to CAT board members to discuss their policy in regards to programming similar to the Billy Nate Bubba Show, which prompted the complaints. The complaints we get refer to the program that contains material that's generally offensive. Whether it meets the obscenity test, I don't know, Ernest said. But boy, he's gonna find out.
Yeah, he's gonna bitch about it nonetheless.
Yeah, we continue to get calls and complaints in regard to this program, which runs late at night.
It's called free speech.
Okay, I'm gonna skip over some of the nonsense here, but Sergeant Shannon Gabbard, information officer for Fayetteville Police Department, said a copy of the program was forwarded to the prosecuting attorney last week. Yes, prosecuting an innocent citizen for expressing himself after it had been reviewed by a member of the department. He said he did not know how many complaints were made to the department, but was aware of calls by residents expressing concern over the content of the program. The sentiment of the calls, Gabbard said, was, "My God, what's being aired here?" Okay, I'm going to
Turn the shit off, you know.
yeah, I'm going to cut to the chase.
Okay, yeah, just cut to the chase.
Okay. Ernest said he had no intention of bringing up the complaints at the city council meeting Tuesday, which is funny because when you look at a news report that he did on, was it ABC?
Yeah.
I forget, he said that as the chief administrative officer of the city, he felt compelled to bring it up. But would be prepared to discuss the matter if any of the aldermen so wish. Yeah, which is fun. Kept awfully mum while we were sitting in back of him, waiting to rip him to shreds at that meeting. The council will consider a $69,000 CAT contract Tuesday, a month late, and may wish to consider the complaints, he said. He hoped. However, the CAT board, this is the part I love, the CAT board is responsible for choosing programming, Ernest said.
No, it's not.
And to belabor the point, it is the position of the CAT board that programs like this are covered under free speech. Oh, isn't that terrible? But, you know, let's go back to the first part of this. However, the CAT board is responsible for choosing programming, Ernest said.
No.
Really now? Liar, liar, pants on fire.
They don't choose anything. I mean, they're not even, it's a procedure.
What's he trying to swing here?
Well, I know, it's almost like he's trying to, put pressure on the, CAT board to, get this awful show off the air or something. And it's no, there's a procedure. You go to the CAT board, listen closely, you need to know this, because it's a procedure. You go to the CAT board. If you're not satisfied there, you go to the communications board. If you're not satisfied there, then you go to, what, the city council?
City council, city prosecutor.
City prosecutor. The city prosecutor decides if there's been a crime committed. And that's the procedure. The CAT board is just a body that decides whether it should move on to the next level if it is in fact obscenity. I mean, it's not like they're down there saying,
well, better yet, I mean, more to the point, okay, he's sitting there saying that the CAT board sits around and picks the program.
Right.
You know, which is ludicrous. And,
Right.
Programming is picked by, chosen by the citizens, who
Right.
utilize the channel.
Right, I mean, anyone can go down there and make any program that you give them, they have to play. Therefore, the citizens. So here it is,
So why is this guy Hugh Ernest spewing this BS?
I don't know. I mean,
Propaganda,
he's
bad
the city,
propaganda.
If he's the city administrator, he knows this. Or God, I hope he knows this. Otherwise,
Why is he in office?
right,
Why
it's
is
time
he
for him
running it?
to start serving up fries or something.
I don't know, it's just, that's probably harsh, but at the same time, I mean, who's really responsible? Well, the citizens are responsible, but, it's like, you don't want to criticize the citizens.
Well, unfortunately, yeah, these people,
You know.
I mean, it's always like, well, we'll talk about producers, or, they're not citizens.
They're not citizens.
Yeah, I mean, a service that was put in place so that citizens could use it, and when citizens do, but boy, am I gonna rip people's throats out on this in a minute.
Can I read this one?
Go for it.
Okay. Fayetteville City Prosecutor Casey Jones said yeah, Casey Jones, okay.
Better watch your speed.
Better watch your speed, man. After carefully reviewing a recent airing of the Billy Nabob Show, Volume 4, on Community Access Television, he has concluded that the video is not obscene, at least not according to the legal definition of the word. What other definitions are relevant here, I mean, the definitions of pureness, the definitions of, like, Billy Graham, the definitions of who,
Bob Emenegger.
Bob Emenegger, okay, the video was forwarded to Jones after a resident called the police department last week and told dispatchers that the content of the program was offensive. Well, hell, so is the news, so are infomercials.
Actually, I believe the word was, I don't know, criminal.
Criminal.
Is it criminal content, they said.
Right. I am a criminal. I am the criminal in question here. The program included discussions about pedophilia and included simulated sex acts between two clothed people. Good God, man. Maybe they should have been naked. You should have watched Cinemax for that. Anyways, it overlooks a larger point that it was social criticism and satire, but we'll have time enough to go on about that.
There's
well,
almost like a running symptom of that happening.
Well, it's like, okay, let me address that real quick. It's like looking at all the details without ever looking at the big picture. Because it's like saying, there's this program on, it comes on at 6 o'clock on most channels, it has murder, it has rape, they talk about child pornography, they talk about child abuse, they talk about all these awful things. They drive around in their cars, they find people who've been victims of crime, they get all up in their face with a camera, and they ask them questions about all that's happened at the most humiliating moment of their life. And isn't this an awful show? We need to do something about it. But never saying, yeah, it's called the 6 o'clock news. I mean, it's exactly the same sort of thing. You can make anything sound awful if you only look at the details without ever viewing the bigger picture. And it's like, this is so much propaganda that it's not even fucking funny.
Okay, so do you have the second part of this, because I don't?
I do. Okay. Public Information Officer Sergeant Shannon Gabbard, who said that the CAD board would ultimately have to make a determination on whether the program should continue to be shown. No. Gabbard.
Smooth move.
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing that kills me...
Get it straight.
And I've ranted about this before, I'm going to rant about it again. Here's Hugh Ernest subverting the protocol, subverting, CAD board.
Telecommunications, city council, city prosecutor.
I mean, and the CAT board and the telecom board are in place so that city council won't have to deal with this stuff. And Hugh Ernest, by the way, knows this because he and I were on this city subcommittee where these issues were discussed.
All right, decided. I shall continue. The decision of whether the discussion and images in the show were obscene was for Jones to... wait a second. Who the hell's Jones?
Jones. Casey Jones.
Casey Jones. That's true.
Attorney.
This is a true quote. This is a fact. It is. Jones said Thursday he discussed the situation with Fayetteville City Attorney Kit Williams, and the determination was made that while the program may not have been in good taste, it was not illegal. Well, geez, who's deciding taste here? I mean, yeah, let's just run it past the, Third Reich here and make sure it's okay for airing, Okay. Fayetteville City Prosecutor's Office has reviewed the complaint regarding the programming airing as Billy Nabob Bubba on cable access television. While the episode presented to this officer is certainly in considerably bad taste and just plain stupid, it does not appear to raise to the level sufficient to meet today's legal definition of obscene. Well, okay, first of all, I mean, you know,
City prosecutor as art critic.
as art critics here, city prosecutors.
Boy, that works real well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it almost sounds like he's saying that it's not stupid enough to be obscene. I'll try harder next time, I suppose. No, okay. The inability to perceive art is not the absence thereof. The inability to understand meanings does not mean it's not there. This is parody of shit that's going on today. Yes, Billy Nabob talks about abusing animals. Happens every day in the farming industry, where people like make lots of money. He talks about children who
money's good.
is the important thing. I guess if I like brought that point up and like said, yes, and it happens to like someone who's a registered voter who like donates to like the city and to local politicians, it would make it okay. But I digress. I talk about children who are abused and put into slave labor, which happens every day in Honduras, and the products are sold in the United States. I bring all this stuff up. I clearly say that, you know, if you love money more than you love your fellow man, you can make a lot of it. And the whole attitude is that poor people aren't even like real people. They're just slaves meant to be used. It's a perception of the upper class. It's all in there, but it's like, okay, and that's stupid. Well, okay, I guess if I just talked about laissez-faire capitalism and like what a great swell thing that was, then it would be like brilliant. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just, you know.
Well, and, you know, we talked earlier about bricks and dicks on Dickson, and believe it or not, it all does tie in.
Oh, it does.
But,
Okay.
rant on.
I shall rant on. Among the people talking about the necessity for such programming is Fayetteville Chief Administrative Officer Hugh Ernest. Ernest said last week that he planned to talk to the CAT board concerning policy on their programming after hearing about the show.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, we'll be there. Shane Bronson, the president of the CAT board, said last week that the board was unaware of the issue and that the resulting discussion would first be considered by the CAT general manager, Sky Blylock. The resident who made the call then could go to the board if they were unhappy with the general manager's take on the situation, or unhappy with the First Amendment, or you could just move to like, I don't know, like Iraq or something, where they don't have the First Amendment. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have that kind of programming. Ernest has no plans to bring up the issue with the city council. Okay,
Yeah.
Channel 5 News, I think it was like on the 21st, he said differently, but I guess he changed his mind.
There's nothing like having the VDA murderers row sitting two benches in back of you, waiting to object, to make you back down like the
I have two words for you.
wuss you are.
Bob Ebeneger in city council.
Or Bob Emeneger on the CAT board.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, CAT board. Sorry, my bad. Jones said that despite the complaint, that the attention it has garnered, that the content of the program is determined by the CAT board. Why does everyone think this? Okay, what are you trying to do here? You know this isn't true, but you keep saying it. I mean, he was like at the damn meetings when they like came up with this procedure, and he keeps saying that, you know? It's like, what is the motivation here?
This is Jones saying this now?
No, this is, yeah, this is Jones.
This has gone on to the city prosecutor. The city prosecutor is sitting around making incorrect statements.
Right, okay. His office would review any future complaints if they should surround a legal question or issue. He said, but whether the show,
Or if Hugh Ernest feels like trying to get rid of
Here's a
public
tape.
access by prosecuting innocent citizens.
yeah, well, that too. He said, but whether the show will word is up to the cat board. No, it's not. Anyways, okay. I think we've addressed that.
We've successfully mauled that.
Is there anything left to like even?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay,
There's
go.
a big thing left.
Okay.
And I want to get
It's
into
a big hairy thing.
And,
Put it in your mouth, boy.
Put it in your mouth. All right. So we have a Times editorial here, and it's...
Don't buy this newspaper. Just don't do it. Unless they're like writing good stories about us, and then buy it. And like Wanda Freeman rocks. She's cool.
Get Wanda Freeman her
But
own
like
publication.
whoever this guy is,
And
like is this like Greg Harden? Greg Harden.
I don't know if this is Greg well, of course, there's no name sign, so it's hard
Which
to
is
know.
wise, because know this. If you criticize me or my show or my friends, you have signed a contract with me saying I'm going to bitch slap you on the next show. So, be warned. You have been told now.
Yeah, so whether it's Greg Harden or whether there's another person at the Times that we now get to relentlessly bag on our respective cat shows, well, you know, it's going to happen.
You know, it's like we have a long list now. I mean, there's just like, we've got more faces than we have hands to slap, you know, so, you know, it's just, you're going to have to get in line.
All right, but I'm going to jump on this now.
Go
It says,
for it.
okay, well, it happened again. Someone on community access television had the bright idea to air something inappropriate. In this case, it turns out something really inappropriate, or was it all too appropriate?
Well,
The viewers who glimpsed the offending scene let the station know how displeased they were at such behavior appearing on the publicly funded channel.
Okay, may I say something?
Go for it.
Okay. Someone has had the bright idea to air something inappropriate. You know, something really inappropriate. Okay, here is the Northwest Arkansas Times editorial, somebody writing this, but the Northwest Arkansas Times speaking like the voice of God, telling us what is right and what is wrong again, and what is appropriate and inappropriate. Who the fuck is this guy? Who gave this guy the job to decide what is appropriate and inappropriate for anyone? It's like, okay, what kind of argument is this? It's like, oh, okay, shit, man, let me, you know, I mean, it's,
No, we're not being nice about this stuff anymore.
no, we're not. We're tired of this. It's just like, who are you to decide? I mean, this is like voice of authority here. And you have no authority. Where are your credentials? You have no credentials. Okay.
Yeah, insert amateur art critic here, and
Right.
oh boy,
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Well, it happened again. Someone on community access television, blah, blah, blah. How about I paraphrase that? Well, it happened again. Someone at the Northwest Arkansas Times had the bright idea to toady up to corrupt public officials and suck ass and basically toe their line and spout bullshit. And there you go. That's exactly what happened, and here it is.
Here it is. Yeah, oh no, it happened again. It's like free speech in action. We need to do something about this.
Yes. Well, it happened again. Here's a more accurate step. Well, it happened again. Someone at City Hall decided to squash the voice of ordinary citizens, and we're here to tell you how right they are to do so.
Exactly. Okay,
Schmuck.
let's just alternate on paragraphs. Actually, outrage may be a more accurate term to describe their reaction as they picked up the phone and called, of all people, the police dispatcher to complain. Well, I can't disagree with that. You know, I mean, that is, call the station. Write email, Billy Nabob, I'm going to say it real slow for you people out there, Billy Nabob Bubba at yahoo.com. Write it. I'll be kinder to you than I am being right now, but not by much. The call set in motion an investigation into whether a recently aired version of the Billy Nabob Bubba show qualifies as legally obscene under Arkansas law.
Is Billy Nabob Bubba a virgin?
He's not a virgin anymore.
Oh, my virgin ears.
Yeah. And then you start with police.
Okay, police obtained a copy of the tape and forwarded it to local prosecutors. On Thursday, city prosecutor Casey Jones, woo-hoo, made the determination that the show, while in bad taste and stupid, does not violate any laws of the state of Arkansas. Roger Ebert couldn't have penned a more accurate review, says you.
Well, wait a minute, it's like, okay.
Okay, so what they're
who's to
basically
say here,
okay.
like, you know, see, so now they're reviewing it.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
basically saying, oh, yes, you know, it's like, now, okay, now they're really being an art critic.
Okay, no. Here's where it goes. Okay, they're not really saying they're not really commenting on his credentials as a legal expert, but they're commenting on his credentials as a cultural expert. And part of me has to question, did they even see this?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, but basically, touting his credentials as a critic of culture, and again, you know, these people at the Northwest Arkansas Times are Billy, Nabob, Bubba.
Oh, they are. The character is based on these people.
I mean,
Yeah. It is.
Greg, don't you get it? This character was invented in answer to you. Everything that's being said is about you motherfuckers.
Well, it's essentially, I wrote to these people and said, you know, they said, well, questioning what is obscene, what is in good taste or bad taste, is not art. Yes, it is. It's always been art. The Dadaist movement, the Surrealist movement, it always comes down to the first thing anyone says in criticism, whether it be from Impressionism to Surrealism to abstract expressionism to postmodern deconstructive pre-Warhol art, is the first thing that's always said is it art, and is it in good taste, and it is obscene. This is what is always stated before the argument begins and is declared as legitimate art. But a redneck would not know this, and frankly, my feeling is that Greg Hart and Mike Masterson's and their editorials are reacting to our show in the way a redneck would react to modernism. Mm-hmm. And that is the whole premise of Billy Nabob. Mm-hmm. That, and they both stated it, that they could get behind just about any kind of free speech so long as it was for the almighty dollar. And so this is Billy Nabob. You have created this character, and I should credit you in the credits. You know, based upon a true story.
And so very much, I mean, because here are these people who set themselves up as these sophisticated arbiters of taste.
Nabobs,
Bubba Nabobs, yes, very appropriate. And what kills me is if this were New York or London or Los Angeles or San Francisco or any other, Chicago, any other real metropolitan area, this attitude would have been deconstructed within minutes for the provincial hogwash that it is.
Exactly.
And so basically what you have from these officious editors,
Nabob,
these people, to the corrupt politicians backing them up for their own agenda, on down. I mean, basically, you've got Hicks acting like Hicks. Well, you've got Hicks acting like
intellectuals.
Hicks acting like intellectuals, but in reality, it's just Hicks acting like Hicks, and it's so transparent, it's ridiculous.
Okay. So, is another brouhaha over a show produced by independent producers not receiving public funds. Thank you. You got 1 point right. That you now have a 1 on your score of 100. And aired on a channel designed for broadcasting all videos produced or submitted by local people or organizations as long as the videos don't violate the obscenity statutes. True.
Yeah. these people have at least got their facts straight here, finally.
After we
Of course.
bust their ass for like 6 months on this.
After we busted their asses for 6 months, but all the better, I mean,
But they're still writing. But they put their name on it. They're like,
yeah, hiding behind walls of cowardice here, but, okay, doesn't it seem like we go through this every few months? A program airs, someone is offended, calls are placed, meetings are held, hands are shook, and nothing changes. And soon enough, it all starts again. It's nothing to be surprised about.
okay. A program airs, somebody is offended, calls are placed, meetings are held, hands are shook, and nothing changes. Why is that? Okay, why are you writing this article? Why is it that nothing happens? Could it be that it's not a crime? Could it be that this is actually free speech? Could it be that this is actually a healthy dialogue which happens in a real free society and democracy? Could it be that this is the reason nothing happens because, like, nothing bad has really happened here? It's actually a very positive thing?
Well, better yet,
You
I
know,
mean, better,
except like in some politician's mind or some conservative editor's mind, this is a bad thing because we're not like talking about what? The new mini mall or like where to shop or the latest line of clothing and
or because we're not jizzing in our drawers over the fact that Dickson Street now
Has
has
bricks.
bricks in it.
right, exactly. If we were talking about that, then that would be art, man.
Then that would deserve a 2-page color
Fuck
supplement.
yeah, man, you'd have like a
But-
large spread. And,
Yeah.
Anyway.
And well, more to the point.
but hell, we got like we probably got a 2-page spread just on this deal. I mean, thank you for the free publicity, man.
Well, anyway, I want to help you out here a little bit. I mean, doesn't it seem like we go through this every few months? A program airs, someone's offended, blah blah blah. Well, doesn't it seem like we go through this every few months? Someone uses a service for what it's designed to be used for, and corrupt politicians and their scumbag friends in the media jump on it and try to exploit innocent civilians in order to get rid of something.
Right,
And,
so they can have an arts channel, and so they can promote their like businesses.
and the citizens and these editors go about this whole deal, and it's almost like basically blame the citizens, blame the public, and it's almost like
Blame the working class.
blame the rape victim.
Well,
You know, the rape victim wore too short a skirt. Let's blame her
Blame her.
because somebody raped her.
well,
Let's blame her because the people we put in charge of everything were the rapists.
right. Well, it's all you have to do to see what is wrong
Piece of garbage.
is go to the city council meeting anytime and listen. Listen very closely and listen to some sort of phrase like, we should raise the rent or have higher rent for this housing so we can bring in a better class of citizen. We need to renovate this area so we can bring in a better class of citizen. We need to charge more money for this service or that service because we'll bring in a better class of citizen. It's all about class. Listen to it. They want to bring in a higher class of people, and they want to run out all the artists, they want to run out all the working class people, they want to run out the people who made this town great. And this is what this is. Citizens like ourselves, working class individuals, go on there and tell jokes that everybody hears on a construction site or tells in their living room, and then you have this written, and you have city officials acting like they don't know whether it's obscene or not. Clearly, it's just us. We're on here basically acting like your average working class schmo, and they don't like that because they want to bring in a higher class of citizens.
Yeah, this is all about property
Right.
values, and truth does not apply to high property values, does it? Truth doesn't. People of modest means, calls for grassroots justice, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
We don't want that.
No.
Lordy, no, we don't want that. We want them to be good slaves.
Anyway,
Is my paragraph?
no, it's mine.
Oh, it's your
And I'm gonna skip over this one because no big deal. Okay, I'm gonna.
Actually, no. Well, give council leader credit. After the last bit of discuss over an offensive program, they took steps to advise people more often of the fact that some of the material on CAT may be offensive. Yes, you got another point right. That would be a 2 out of 100. From a historical perspective, we can certainly We can insert the verb,
Where certain the verb can be changed to will be. Yeah. Ooh, there's some propagandizing. Okay.
the theory.
And the theory advanced by the channel supporters is that cable viewers have an option to turn off any show they don't like, and that's correct. More to the point, they have the opportunity to make their own show. And he goes on to say, we encourage people to do that or to block out the station on their televisions altogether if catching even a glimpse of the programming is too much to handle. If someone finds himself, okay, and I love this and I can't wait to rip this to pieces, if someone finds himself shocked by something he sees on the channel, it can only mean he likely still has morals and a healthy sense of decency. That's a good thing. Here's a better one. It can only mean, it couldn't possibly mean that this is the sort of person who read a modest proposal by Jonathan Swift and thought Jonathan Swift really wanted to eat the Irish. It can only mean that this person possibly still thinks that there are 7 people stranded on an island and is very frustrated over the fact that no one's gotten them off yet.
Or that Anthony Hopkins actually eats people.
Yeah.
Or, here's another scenario. Think of this. In the 1940s, 1930s, Adolf Hitler decided he was going to destroy all the Picassos and all the Van Goghs and all the Cézannes because he considered them indecent and obscene. In fact, it could mean that you're actually a fascist rather than a decent person. So, I mean, that's another possibility. You know, it could mean that basically you're like writing this article to like kiss up to people in the city government. I mean, it could mean a lot.
Well, more to the point, I mean, what I wanted to say is it can blah, blah, blah. It can only mean that he likely still has morals and a healthy sense of decency. I mean, and, well, we've now demolished that, but it's basically likely that this person does not understand art. And so, yes, Northwest Arkansas Times, let's enable and exploit this level of ignorance. Thank you, you motherfucking geniuses.
Well, let's say that it's also, okay, if someone finds himself shocked by something he sees on the channel, it can only mean he likely still has morals and a healthy sense of decency, and that's a good thing. Now, we have the Northwest Arkansas Times, in addition to being the voice of God and art critic, being a psychologist.
Yeah, and being the voice of ignorance. But
Right, well, I mean, they're the prophets of ignorance.
yeah.
They are the advocates of ignorance.
Mhm.
This is your new title, son, advocate of ignorance.
Mhm.
Just sign off on it that way. This thing needs to be signed off on that way. Yet, it may be silly to have to repeat this.
Yup.
The offending program is fully protected under the First Amendment. So why are you writing this? Just say that.
That's a good thing, too. Even if we would rather these people deliver a message of some worth to the audience. Well, I think it's a tit-for-tat argument there, Chief. I mean, you would rather that...
Billy Nabob kiss your ass rather than out you.
Well, you would rather these people deliver a message of some worth, a term that's more than a little relative and malleable. We'd rather that you were intellectually honest instead of intellectually dishonest and told the truth, which, again, a malleable term, tit for tat.
Well, it's, you know, it goes back to, of some worth to the audience. What the hell does that mean? I mean, this is social satire. I'm basically talking about how the rich...
There are a lot of fans.
Yeah, there's a lot of fans. There's a lot of people actually write into me. But I'm actually talking about issues that are going on today. It's social satire. It's talking about how the rich exploit the poor and abuse the poor and how unfair our system is. I mean, is that a worthwhile message? I guess it wouldn't seem that way if you're one of the rich and powerful people or you're some sort of lackey for them, which, you know, I've said to Greg Harden before in a letter, and he didn't deny it, so
Yeah.
if you don't deny it,
So-
it's probably true.
Well, Greg Harton is a lackey for these people and has proven it. Although I do want to give the guy credit right off of that, he does have enough of a sense of fair play to let us write in and spout our opinions. But
Yeah, he's like, well,
which puts
he's published you, he's never published me.
which puts the Times over, say, the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. But,
Right, or the Aryan Youth Times or something.
yeah.
We're glad. We're glad, Kat. About 90% of the shows. Okay. Kat, about 90% of the time shows other programs with more redeeming value.
See relative and malleable concept.
Right, Yeah.
Nobody, the producers of this show in particular, can be upset that a person gets outright offended by a program that was designed to be offensive.
I'm just being who I am. I'm doing the sort of humor I find funny. I'm not the first one who's ever done this. I mean, every year of Lenny Bruce, Richard Pryor, Chris Rock, Andrew Dice Clay, Sam Kinison. I mean, this is the problem right here. This is why I created this character, because, designed to be offensive. They were designed to be funny. People found them offensive.
Well, here's
All humor is based on surprise. But these people act like they've never heard of any of these people. They lived in a vacuum. Perhaps they've gone to a little backwoods primitive Baptist church and just write this stuff. But I don't think so.
Well, here we go. Yeah, here we go again back to the point of provincial attitudes, and it's
You are a redneck.
no, and intellectual dishonesty.
Right.
Because do you really think these people are this stupid?
I would hope not. I'm assuming these people have a bachelor's degree in something. It might be journalism. It's hard to say. But they probably had an art appreciation class. They've probably had HBO. They've probably, like I said, they've not been living in a box, so they've been exposed to a lot of the ideas I'm talking about. You do know who Cezanne is and Van Gogh is. You have to before you get out of college.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right? I mean, I have a bachelor's degree in fine arts, and I have a associate's degree in graphic design, and I mean, I know it well, but I knew who these people were even when I just took my very first.
I knew these people in junior high.
Right, exactly. So,
but more, okay, I mean, and that brings it back, is this really ignorant people, or is it intellectually dishonest people who are exploiting ignorance? And okay, blah,
or
blah,
encouraging it and advocating it. I mean, if you want to talk about, okay, let me say this. If you want to talk about abuse of the First Amendment and free speech, then that is it. It is basically encouraging or rather discouraging free speech. And this is what this is doing. If you use free speech to stop free speech, that is the only kind of abuse I can see on a philosophical level, which is clearly what they're saying here, because we're not talking on a legal level here.
No, it's not on a legal level, but it is on a philosophical level. And know this, and a lot of these propaganda techniques, we know very well because I've used them myself. All information given in this kind of context is a form of persuasion. It is designed to help build or create a consensus. Don't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. But the big thing I want to point out with that little paragraph here is nobody, the producers of this show in particular, can be upset that a person gets outright offended by a program that was designed to be offensive. And what pisses me off royally about that is that this was a program that was designed to make people think.
And aware.
Do you really think that this eludes these people?
No. No.
We call these people on their BS, and they are choosing not to report that. And,
right.
And instead just decrying the show as having no value.
Well, right.
We're right on back to intellectual dishonesty.
Well, intellectual dishonesty, but we're back to classes and we're back into being...
we certainly are.
Intellectual dishonesty, clearly, because they understand it, yet they pretend not to understand it. They know it's one thing, but they say it's another in order to push an agenda. That ain't honest, folks. Okay, nobody, the producers of this show in particular, wait a minute, we just read the paragraph, didn't we? No. No.
Still, it's easy for Americans of all stripes to forget that the freedom of another person to express stupid or offensive ideas, like the ones in this editorial, reflects the same freedom all Americans have to join in or counter it with intelligent, insightful commentary, like the ones on Billy Nabob Bubba Show. To paraphrase James Madison, freedom of expression is a positive because it acts as a safety valve for society. Take away a people's right to be themselves away from them by force or by consensus, and soon tension will boil over. Revolutions are made from such oppression. Burn, baby, fucking burn.
And you should know this, having said those words, keep it up and you may see a revolution. You may see a real serious revolution. People may get completely tired of your gentrification and stop going to Dickson Street. They may actually begin to think for themselves. They may quit going to their corporate fucking jobs.
Oh,
and you may have a real revolution on your hands.
Oh,
but you know what?
Please, God, let it happen.
Just keep doing this. Just keep rolling this way. In 5 years.
This is making my dick hard.
Right.
Burn, baby, burn. Burn, baby, burn. Anyway.
You know, this is the fox basically defending the hens here.
Yeah.
It's still easy for Americans of all stripes to forget the freedom of another person to express stupid and offensive ideas, the same as all Americans have, to join in with counter with intelligent and insightful commentary. Well, guess what, guy? You said it. You talk the talk, now till you walk the walk. Why don't you go down and actually produce a program, get your hands dirty, and do this stuff, and then you know what? You will be qualified to actually write this article. Because then you can actually say this stuff is worthless or not worthless, because guess what art is judged on? It's judged on composition, it's judged on ideas, it's judged on hard work. Something that apparently you talk about, but I don't see anyone doing it. So I mean, put up or shut the fuck up, okay? And I'm not telling you, you know, I'm not trying to repress you here, man. I'm just like calling you out. I'm just saying, you know, do something. Do something or quit writing shitty articles, you know.
Yeah. Besides, letting kids be kids, letting commentators be commentators, letting geniuses be geniuses, or letting morons be morons and write asinine editorials,
whatever the case may be, is forever an appropriate measure of a democratic society.
Don't you wish that wasn't just a lip service?
Yeah. No one says the annoyance that the annoyance caused is a good thing. Actually, it is a good thing.
Let me be the second to announce it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's called free speech, and it protects these annoyances. These annoyances are caused by conflict, and conflict causes change, and it actually causes people to think and make changes in society that are largely for the better, and if they're not for the better, at least people become aware through dialogue, discussion, and debate. For example, slavery was ended. Civil rights happened in the 1960s. Modernism was discovered. The Red Scare was eventually ended, as was Vietnam. Wars are won. Wars are fought. Wars are protested. Wars are stopped.
And with any hope at all, culture wars will be stopped, and the fascists who promote them will also be fucking stopped.
We simply suggest that the annoyance caused without it, yes, the inability to communicate our wants and wishes to our fellow man, are far greater than any momentary ill will that our community might be experiencing.
Yeah, well, bend over for the ill will, baby.
Yeah. So anyways, I mean...
This is the best example of ill will I think I've read in a long time.
Oh. I would spare this or burn it, but in all seriousness, I'm saving it. I am saving it.
And bronzing it.
And bronzing it.
It is. It is.
a commemoration of stupidity.
It is.
But it's written about me. It just keeps writing about me. It just keeps saying that I'm the bad guy, that I am the criminal, that, you know, but you know what? You need criminals of free speech. You wouldn't understand that, nor do I expect you to. And now, it is time once again for you to suck these balls right here. So open up. I know you're used to this. I know it's not a politician cock or like whatever, or conservatives, but you have the experience.
But I have one more doc.
Go.
All right, but there is one more document I have to cover here.
You're excellent. You're really good. I appreciate that.
We all
You give
appreciate
good lip service.
Yeah, there is one more document here. Now, as far as the whole Billy Nabob Bubba Flap went, Hugh Ernest threatened to prosecute. Hugh Ernest gave the tape to city prosecutors, and Jet, my friend here, was found legally
I was exonerated.
not obscene but stupid.
Yes, I was found.
He's not
stupid.
obscene, he's just stupid. And stupidity is not a crime, and if it were, the editorial, most of the editorial staff of the Northwest Arkansas Times and lots of other folks and lots of folks at City Hall would probably end up in jail forever.
Yeah, good thing like being dull and dishonest isn't obscene, because these people would all be put away.
Yeah. Anyway, prior to the city council meeting where, you know, my friends in city council, I want to give city council thanks because they pretty much passed cap funding without a peep. A lot of that may have been because we were sitting in back of Hugh Ernest ready to unleash hell upon him, and we're still unleashing hell upon him. I sprayed an email out across Fayetteville. In fact, the damn thing went global.
You're
Yeah.
famous, Hugh. You're nationwide, baby.
And then I mentioned a lot of things, and one of the things I mentioned was that back around last spring/summer, it was, according to an email from a member of Friends for Fayetteville, Hugh Ernest and Mayor Dan Cootie, who were the people behind the complaint leveled at Abbey of the Lemur. And I let that out and told everybody about it.
Let me whip this thing up.
And what should happen then? But Dan Cootie responded.
Oh, I've never heard this. Okay, cool.
And wrote an email talking about attempting to distance himself from the controversy. Now let me see. There are a couple of points here I want to throw out.
Just read the whole thing, man.
I was baffled the other day when Channel 5 wanted an interview with me about the police. Yeah, Dan was not at that city council meeting. He was at a mayor's conference.
Yeah.
I was baffled the other day when Channel 5 wanted an interview with me about police looking into CAP programming. I declined the interview because I did not know what they were talking about. Smart. Later on, he gets not so smart, and unfortunately that seems to happen a lot with Dan. I later learned that the dispatch office had received complaints about a program, which one in particular I do not know, and he's only responding to an email that details this. As with any complaint, the police followed up by sending copies to the prosecutor's office. Actually, wasn't it Hugh Ernest who showed up demanding the tape?
Yes. It wasn't the police, but I've read that twice now, and it's still not right.
Yeah. Because we knew that if the media sent a story about Cat, it would probably be followed up on. So, Mr. Ernest,
The media, oh, that's
Got a copy
great. Since the story, it wasn't like, you know, someone like handed them a tape or something, like
Mr.
Mike
Ernest-
Masterson was handed a tape.
Mike Masterson, who was handed a tape by Hugh Ernest and said so. And we owe Mr. Masterson credit as much as we bag on him, because he literally handed us Hugh Ernest's ass on a silver platter.
Thank you, Mr. Masterson.
So Mr. Ernest got a copy of the program in order to know what the story was about. Oh yeah. And, you know, he's only been quoted as vowing that he was going to prosecute a citizen for the videos they produced this year. As of a few days after the call, he had still not taken the time to view the program, or so he says. I do not know if he has viewed it yet. I know I have not.
But he's awful upset about it.
I have no idea where it sits in the prosecutor's office. That department is totally independent from the administration, just as
It might be
should
on the desk, it might be on the bookshelf, we're not sure.
I will be surprised if this issue goes anywhere once again as usual. Is that a rueful comment? The money appropriated for CAT is on the agenda to be authorized tomorrow night, right on schedule. It has not languished on anyone's desk. Really?
When was it
A
supposed to
month after it was supposed to be verified, right? The money cannot be moved to CAT without council approval once again, as usual. A month late. Anyway, yeah. Well,
Is there anything interesting?
not languishing. Okay, I very seriously doubt that funding for CAT will be cut in spite of the wringing of teeth and gnashing of hands and conspiracy trips once again, as usual. He sounds so rueful when he writes once again, as usual.
Once again,
as usual.
It could be so well used by someone wanting to like put more bricks on Dickson Street, or a tree that obstructs the intersection over by the post office.
You know, wanting to create a bogus arts channel or whatever. Right. I personally believe that CAT has, with few exceptions, oh, this is great, gotten quite a bit better as far as broadcast quality, programming, interest, and talent, and have said so to Sky publicly and privately. This may be so, but my issue is, and has been...
Drop the word quality from your vocabulary right now for your own good.
Okay.
It makes you an art critic, and you don't want to be an art critic with us as artists. It's just...
Yes,
bad idea.
You don't want us
capital
calling-
letters with like 6 slammers afterwards.
You don't want us calling you on this,
Right.
but I'm going to call you on it. Mr. Mayor, define quality. Mr. Mayor, actually I agree. Quality has gotten quite a bit better with Sky in charge of the CAT.
Now you've
Quality
actually
of the
fired
programming is very good.
Now you've actually hired someone who actually has some background and who is an artist and basically has an appreciation for free speech. It has improved, you know.
But more to the point, I personally CAT with it. Okay, quality. When most of us involved in video production talk about quality, it involves technique. Mr. Cootie, do you consider technique to be a point of quality? Oh, it's all about content. No, it's not about content. It's about selling real estate. Oh no. There's a big quote. Well, something that could make Fayetteville proud. Something that can make Fayetteville proud. Something that can make Fayetteville merchants rich. Okay.
And we've talked about how proud we are of Dickson Street at this point.
Yeah.
We're very proud. Who's proud? The business owners, the young executives,
The rich bastards.
the people who used to enjoy Dickson Street? Okay, never mind.
Okay. My question is this. Here's the Lulu. When a program is made for the sole purpose to shock and outrage people, why is it a surprise when people react with shock and outrage?
I'm shocked and outraged
No.
at the stupidity of that statement every time I hear it from
Yes.
every mouth it comes out of.
But here's the
And I would
kicker.
like it to end, like now.
But here's the kicker. The statement has come out of within the ballpark of each other, an editorial in the Times and the mayor. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? You'd almost think these people people are in each other's loop. You'd almost think they were kind of working in Congress together, wouldn't you?
It would seem as so.
Corrupt. Very corrupt.
Is it the job of politicians to basically implement the will of the people, or basically to like skew views of the people in order to like get agendas passed through that someone is paying them to get through and accomplish?
And
This
utilize
is what's wrong with our government from top to bottom this day in the United States.
and utilizing our friends in the media who are all too willing to suck up to them. Okay, back
And God forbid you should have independent media where people like are honest like we're being honest.
Yeah. Well, okay. Personally, blah blah blah. Quality, back to quality. Okay. Define quality. Define quality. Let me beat this out. Okay, now technique on the cat has gotten quite a bit better. I don't think that Mr. Cootie's judgment of quality has anything to do with technique. I think this has been proven in spades. More to the point, technique, as much as I think it should be encouraged and taught and learned and pursued, is not what a public access station is about. It's about ideas. So, which makes all commentary on quality pretty much irrelevant. But still we have talk on quality, and talk of quality does not relate to technique. It relates to ideas. It relates to, this doesn't help us sell real estate. I'm done, motherfucker.
We got sound on this motherfucker. We have like honest people on this motherfucker. I know we don't have them out there. I know that like no one working here, or at least writing any of these editorials, are honest. I mean,
We have dismantled you.
yes,
We have
fucked
dismantled you. We have deconstructed you. Up your ass.
Go
You
home
are
now.
done.
Get out of here.
Good at goodbye to your things. Say goodbye to the rest. Be a true to yourself. Be